What gender expectations did you have during your childhood?
First generation. During my childhood in China, girls and boys were viewed as the same. We participated in the same activities, classes, sports, etc. A good wife should be detailed, keep the house clean and organized. They shouldn't hold grudges against their husbands, and chores should be shared to create a relaxed environment for their husbands when they come home from work. Women were expected to do well in school, but men were held to a bit of a higher standard for academic work. But a good wife should also have freedom and money for herself in order to make a place in society that's her own.
Second generation. I grew up in a pretty traditional Vietnamese household, and with this came a lot of expectations, especially around being a girl. I was encouraged to be obedient because my opinions would come off as disrespectful. I was taught how to do various household chores at a young age, and throughout my life, people in my family would tell me things like, "You're a girl, so you should learn how to do this to be a good wife one day." Or I was constantly policed on what I could or could not wear. I had to be careful about what the clothes I wore said about the kind of girl I was. A 1998 study suggests that Asian Indian parents resist marital integration by refusing to allow their children to date and mix freely with their non-Asian peers. Do you feel that your family had any influence when deciding who to date? First generation. During my childhood in China, we were not exposed to foreigners. I believe that if there was, my parents wouldn't have minded so long as they were good people. Second generation. My family never expressed to me who I could and couldn't date, so I do not think I ever felt the pressure to date an Asian or a Vietnamese person. My mom has told me that she doesn't care who I end up with, as long as they make me happy. Do you feel that gender norms have changed between the generations? How? First generation. I do not feel that there is much change between first-generation immigrants and second-generation. However, if we are comparing second-generation immigrants to multiple generations in the past, then there would definitely have been changes in gender expectations. Before, girls wouldn't have had jobs. They had very little personal power or freedom, but now girls and boys are expected to be equal. Second generation. I do think that gender norms and expectations have changed over time. As a second-generation immigrant, I have had to navigate my Asian culture with that of my American culture, which are very different values when it comes to gender. Growing up in the U.S., I've constantly been encouraged to be independent, voice my opinions, explore my sexuality, and challenge the status quo that comes with being a woman.